also have one on the podium. No, I was just Mike's doing the Chalice lady,
Is he doing the?
He's gonna do the Chalice. Good morning. We're a chatty bunch this morning. I invite you to find a comfortable place to sit. My name is Amy Collins. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a commissioned lay minister and one of today's service leaders here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Cleveland. I bid you welcome whether you're here in person or joining us virtually live or at a later date. Each week you hear us acknowledge that we're gathering on the original lands of the Erie, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabeg peoples known as the Three Fires Council. We do this to show respect to the diverse peoples and cultures who preceded us here, as well as those who gather here now. You may be aware that we have the Lake Erie Native American Council, LENAC, in a regular rotation as an offertory recipient, as a more tangible way to show our commitment to honoring that complex history. We are a pluralist and covenantal community. We're humanist, pagan, Buddhist, Jewish, Christian, atheist, agnostic, and some of us resist or reject all of those labels. We define family in many and diverse ways, by birth and by choice, and many of us claim this community as an extended family of sorts. We represent a continuum of gender and sexuality. We're neurodiverse and neurotypical. We have visible and invisible financial, racial, and cultural differences, health and ability realities. As a covenantal community, we coexist with this range of beliefs and identities because we agree to respect and care for one another and make room for one another. We're also imperfect in our sincere and committed efforts to make room for all of these differences. Today, members of the pastoral care team and tending covenant team will be leading the service that they have created for you. Our covenant is something we often read aloud as our chalice lighting because it's aspirational and intentional and worthy of reminding ourselves of each week. The very existence of our pastoral care team and tending covenant team are an embodiment of our community's commitment to being in covenant with and caring for one another. If you're just discovering us and want to learn more or hear from us, fill out one of the guest cards in the pew rack and put it in the offering plate later in the service. And if you're with us online, you can visit our website at uucleveland.org and find a way to reach out to us there. Please take a moment now to silence any of your electronic devices or put them in worship mode. Welcome to our precious, beloved, aspirational, flawed, and magnificent community. And for our chalice lighting, Mike Miller is going to light our chalice. He's a member of our Tending Covenant team, while we read together from the yellow card. We cultivate trust with one another by celebrating differences, honoring boundaries, and offering compassion and care. We listen to each other deeply with curiosity and wonder. We speak for ourselves without need to defend ourselves or persuade each other. We create safe and brave space for healthy conflict, creativity, and fun. We reconcile through forgiving and making amends when we hurt one another.
Hello. Good morning. I'm Steve Sanford. I've been a member of this church for 40 years, 1985. I'm a member of the lay pastoral care team here at UUCC, along with Lori Holmes and where are we? Oh yeah, Katarina and Jim, whom you all know, I think. Erica Brown is also on our team, but couldn't be with us today. We're joined by the Tending Covenant team, which includes Laurie Albright, Mike Miller, and Meg Pauken. Both of our teams share a common theme of fostering healthy connections within our congregation. The Tending Covenant team supports the congregation in practicing faithful communication and creative conflict resolution based on our values of mutuality and consent as expressed in our congregational covenant. Recognizing that what defines us as a community is our care for one another, the lay pastoral care team provides outreach to members who may be dealing with aging, health issues, death, grief, and other losses. We provide a listening heart and ear, respecting the worth and dignity of every person while maintaining confidentiality. Our two teams have found that a common thread that helps all of us connect with each other is the ability to become centered, present, and an attentive listener when we are with each other. Personal anxiety and stress and congregational anxiety and stress can clearly be barriers to healthy connection, as can feelings of being overwhelmed by what's happening nationally to our country. I suspect some of us may be anxious as we examine and imagine how our building structure could be renovated and function more in line with who we are and who we are becoming. Throw in the fast pace of life that many of us have chosen, even retirees. So let's take a collective congregational deep breath together. Today, we're going to share with you 4 practices that we feel are avenues to slowing the pace of our lives, cutting out the chatter, allowing us to become more centered and present, both individually and as a congregation with each other. So let us call ourselves to worship with these words from Shari Woodbury, entitled Invitation to Arrive and Rest. Out of the din of the city,
away from the noise of the crowds, we
come to rest in this moment,
in this place,
set apart from the never-ending to-do lists,
embracing the 7th day, a day of rest.
We come to the warmth and stillness
of this sacred hour.
Remember, you have chosen to be here. Something in your life led you to arrive here now.
Whatever tasks and cares await you, now, for this brief time, simply rest.
Allow your soul to be nurtured. Let the waves in your mind and heart gradually subside.
As you come home to yourself, holy and whole,
come, let us worship together. Now our hymn is number 83 in the large hymnal, the gray hymnal. But before we sing, let's welcome one another.
Steve's going to grab the Joys and Concerns book for me. If you're joining us live online, I invite you to write any joys and concerns that are on your mind in the chat. The stones that are in the bowl that were placed there during the prelude music represent a few of the many things we each bring into this space. Our concerns for loved ones, our worries about the state of the world, our celebrations of milestones, accomplishments, or of gratitude for our many blessings. We bless and hold all of these in the container of our beloved community, lightening the burden, amplifying the joy. In our book that we keep next to our Joys and Concerns bowl, we have a few things to share. Last weekend, Jean Martin and family celebrated her husband John's life, sharing memories, laughs, and tears as they scattered ashes at Mount Macsaba Beach in Charlevoix, Michigan. Jean is grateful for the love and support from the congregation since John died July 7th. Happy birthday to Beth McClellan. Happy birthday, Beth. Yay. John Hepler's husband of Liz Cantor and son-in-law of David Cantor and Mary Ellen McNulty is having laparoscopic hernia surgery on Wednesday, so please send good juju that day. Joy Owl for 7th and 8th graders has our first workshop tonight. Yay. Bill returned from Columbus Saturday after a long day of jury for a piano competition. So, Glenn Solomon was hospitalized last week. He's home and appreciates your good thoughts. So we hold all of these joys and concerns and all of those that remain in the quiet sanctuaries in our hearts in the light of this community. Blessed be.
I'm Katerina, and I will speak about the Sabbath. We live in a world saturated with fear, anxiety, restlessness, exhaustion, and even desperation. But 6 days of worrying, striving, and grasping are enough. Our bodies and minds are starving for rest. Our souls are starving for connection with ourselves, with those we love, and with something greater. Observing the Sabbath day is an opportunity to set aside our worries about every day and renew our soul's appreciation for beauty, harmony, and love. We all deserve a day in which no problems are confronted, no solutions searched for, withdrawing from external obligations, negative thoughts, judgment, and criticism. We need time to ponder the mysteries of the universe, to experience magical moments that touch our souls, or even to discover a personal sense of purpose and meaning. For me, the Sabbath is a hidden treasure that allows me to quiet my mind and experience peace and contentment. The quieter the mind, the more deeply I am able to see into things, to gain new appreciation of my relationships, and to see the world with new eyes. Jim and I started observing the Sabbath a few months ago. Sometimes our Sabbath is a full day, sometimes a half a day. Other times an hour, a meal, a walk in the woods, or a pause to be present and breathe. This is what we have discovered so far during our experiment. Observing the Sabbath will never happen by chance. It requires an intention. Effort and willpower are essential ingredients. Sometimes we're successful, and sometimes we're not. We discovered that we need a day in which we consciously separate the sacred from the ordinary and the past from the future. We do this by creating a sacred space, lighting a candle, a meaningful reading, music, or a bouquet of flowers. We contemplate and reflect on an inspirational passage that we read together, or we listen to soothing music, or watch and discuss a video, such as Alan Watts' Essential Lectures. We eat a delicious meal with awareness. We slow down. We're mindful. We connect more deeply with what is most meaningful to us. Our Sabbath day almost always includes a walk in nature. When we walk, we are in a world of natural harmony and profound wisdom. It is so peaceful breathing deeply into the sounds, scents, and rhythms of the earth. We also find that walking stimulates creativity, profound conversation, and deep listening. We endeavor not to discuss issues of the day, although we often lapse into this and then have to use our willpower to direct the mind back to the beauty of the natural world. The amazing thing about the Sabbath is that time appears to stand still. Sabbath time is holy. There are no alarms, no deadlines, nothing to do, no place to be. It's a reminder of how precious time is, and a reminder of timeless moments, to listen to what is beautiful, wise, and nourishing with full attention. Sabbath time is a refuge, a sanctuary in time, disconnected from the frenzy of consumption and accomplishment. Observing the Sabbath is a work in progress. We sometimes revert to our habitual activities of using digital devices, reading or talking about stressful topics. But each Sabbath is a learning opportunity to refine this sacred day so it is truly a time of joy, easefulness, and rest. When the spirit is renewed, we begin a new week filled with gratitude, awe, and wonder for being able to experience a lifetime on this beautiful earth in this vast and mysterious universe.
Our offering today will benefit the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center. The Cleveland Rape Crisis Center supports survivors of rape and sexual abuse, promotes healing and prevention, and advocates for social change. Each year, over 46,500 people, 1/3 of them youth, find support by participating in the center's counseling, advocacy, and education programs in 4 counties. The center provides many services for survivors of sexual abuse, including a crisis hotline, individual counseling, support groups for women, men, parents, and youth, support for deaf survivors, survivors of human trafficking, accompaniment at hospitals and police stations, free yoga classes, and much more. All of these services require resources, and we have the opportunity to do our part in supporting the Rape Crisis Center today. Please give generously within your means. You can place cash or checks payable to UUCC in the collection plate as it goes around. You can contribute electronically, direct Zelle contributions to donate at uucleveland.org, direct Cash App contributions to $UUCC 44122, and indicate on the memo line for your contribution for today's, whether it's for today's plate, your annual pledge, or something, today's plate, your annual pledge, or something else. If you just want to give random money, please give generously within your means.
My name is Jim Kaltenbach, and I'm going to be speaking to you about contemplation. Contemplation is one of the strongest defenses we have against stress and anxiety, and there are many ways to contemplate, but one type that I have found brings the most immediate relief from anxiety and stress is internal meditation. For many years before I retired, I suffered from a type of heart arrhythmia that commonly appeared during times of stress. At that time, running the race to keep up with endless deadlines was a regular part of my life. At one point, I think feeling the arrhythmia was itself anxiety-provoking and reinforced their frequency and severity. So I needed to do something. I experimented with taking 15-minute breaks, and it helped a little, but I found the breaks by themselves were not quite enough. Then I started taking the breaks in quiet spaces where I could sit down and meditate for about 15 to 20 minutes. I discovered that when I did this, the arrhythmia symptoms disappeared and often didn't return for the rest of the day. So meditation became a regular part of my everyday routine, and I think it was one of the things that helped me navigate the ups and downs of my career. So what is meditation? In a nutshell, meditation is an intentional practice of focusing the mind on something specific for an extended period of time. For combating anxiety, what works best is focusing on something calming. It is ideally done in a quiet space where there are few distractions. The object of focus can be the rhythm of your breathing, a prayer, an image, even the state of silence itself. Sometimes a thought or an emotion that needs further examination or processing makes a good object of focus. Sustaining the focus removes the noise of the mind and opens up the awareness to the power of stillness. By tuning into this stillness, the mind becomes grounded in the serenity of the moment, where memories of the past and worries of the future loosen their grip. In my experience, what comes forth most immediately is a feeling of being mentally relaxed and in harmony with the present moment. For more extended meditations, I often have experienced the emergence of new insights or fresh perspectives on thoughts that seem to distill out of the silence. Meditation doesn't have to be an inwardly directed practice. Contemplation includes a second type of meditation, one that is outwardly directed, where you focus on something external. Listening to a quiet, calming piece of music or watching wood burning in the fireplace are great objects of focus. Or watching leaves falling gently to the ground during the autumn. These are comforting things to focus on, very calming, and can be very mesmerizing. Another example is listening to a guided meditation, like a yoga nidra, where the attention is focused on different areas of the body. For me, yoga nidra exercises work particularly well for inducing states of deep relaxation or even sleep itself. A third type of contemplation is walking meditation. Although this might be thought of as more of a deeper layer of external meditation, externally turned meditation, walking in nature is something that can be very healing. It is during this time that we are reminded of something bigger than ourselves, something beyond our worries. Connecting with nature takes us into the realm of beauty. It is during these walks that one can realize the grandeur of existence, thinking of the mystery of it all, the intricacies with which the web of life is constructed. When contemplating these things, even for just a moment, the negative energies brought on by disturbing news headlines or worries about the future shrink in their power and one can feel uplifted and grounded at the same time. It can be like a complete reboot of one's mindset. If you feel chronically tired, exhausted, overwhelmed, or worried about things, maybe it's time to begin practicing meditation. How might you incorporate these practices into your daily activities? Can you see yourself taking breaks every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to be in silence or to reflect? Or could you see yourself taking a walk in nature to break the spell of an endless list of things that need to be done? If you're able to do so, you may be surprised how quickly these practices will replace stress and anxiety with a feeling of well-being, and at the same time, it will give your mind and body the rest they need.
So, in that meditative vein, sit comfortably, close your eyes if you wish. Focus your mind and your breath on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's hear these words from Joan Johnson Lewis, a meditation on finding your center. Breathe deeply and fully. Breathing in, taking air into your body to nourish you. Breathing out, letting go of what your body no longer needs. Just breathe. Consciously center your attention on your own body and breath. If you notice distractions from outside or inside, just let them be. Imagine or sense within you your own center, nourished and protected by your breath. When you're feeling centered in yourself, let your focus shift to also take in those around you. Sense in your imagination a connection from your center to the center of one of those others around you. Imagine it's an invisible thread, one between you and another person. Another thread to another person, thread after thread after thread, each between your center and the center of another. And as your mind takes in all of these threads, sense or imagine also the threads that start from each of those others and connect to another, not you, weaving an invisible net of connections. Center to center, true and best self to true and best self. Breathe in a sense of the connection from others to the preciousness in you. Breathe out a sense of your connecting to those precious others. Breathe in, connecting to your center. Breathe out, connection from your center. Breathe, center, connect. Feel the power that flows from your center, through those threads, through other centers, and back to your center. Breathing, centered in the present. Then imagine a thread from the present you're experiencing to the future. What from this experience do you want to carry with you into that future? What is a choice you want to make about how you want to be in that future? Connecting your center and connecting to that invisible net of threads, center to center. Take a few moments to imagine yourself in that future and that intention fulfilled. then back to your center in the present, breathing in with what nourishes you, out with what you no longer need. Take a few more breaths, then come back to conscious presence in this moment, in this room, with these others who are here with you. We'll begin again after a few moments of silence.
Here I am again, Lori Albright, one of the 3 fabulous members of the Tending Covenant team. In a minute, you're also going to hear from Meg and from Mike. The Tending Covenant team is here to serve you in times of dilemma about moving forward in both discomfort and covenant. When you experience a conflict with another person or a group here at UUCC, we offer a confidential sounding board, coaching, and more, which you can read about on your orange insert. Meg, Mike, and I thought we would best use our 4 minutes to tell you what feeds our souls rather than talking about how we can feed our souls. So, to prepare for this service, I took an inventory of the ways that what feeds my soul, and I identified 9 buckets. So in the minute I have, I'm going to tell you about 3. Being outside, moving. Mother Nature delights and invigorates me. My husband Brian enjoys telling people about his strange wife who can be found most mornings eating breakfast outside even when the temps are in the 40s. 2, perpetually exploring and nurturing my understanding of who we are, who these humans are, following my curiosity. Currently, I'm about 50 pages away from finishing Hannah Arendt's book, The Origins of Totalitarianism, and I have found her to be illuminating on those questions I've had about how is it that people embrace doing things against their own interest. We can talk sometime. I love reading. And 3, creating space for community. Especially now, I think we need each other. I need others. Solidarity is a balm for my soul, despite my introvert needs. And now, here's Meg.
Good morning. I'm Meg Pocken, and 3 things that fill my soul. I'm right up there with Lori on the nature piece, but I embrace it a little differently. For me, it's about the sensory experience of being in nature. So oftentimes it's smelling the grasses that have been cooking all summer in the sun, or the feel of a breeze, the sound of the animals chattering in the woods, the feel of bark. I actually hug trees. Those things really feed my soul because they leave me feeling very connected to the natural world. The other thing that feeds my soul, particularly when I'm feeling beaten up by the world, is going through the photos on my camera and remembering joyful times that I've had. Maybe it was a trip I took with family. Maybe it was a party where people were laughing. But remembering those things and putting myself back in them reminds me that the thread of today is just one tiny piece of the tapestry of my whole life. And the last thing that I do that really feeds my soul is I make art. And by that I mean I play with paint. you won't see my art in a gallery. It's all about playfulness for me and seeing what the colors do when I splash them on the page. What does it make? What does it look like? That feeds my soul. And next I'm going to turn it over to Mike Miller.
Good morning, I'm Mike Miller. In thinking about how I feed my soul, I kept coming back to how much I deeply, deeply dislike powerlessness and uncertainty and imperfection, and how much I'm faced with it. We're all faced with that in sort of normal times, and maybe these aren't even very normal times. What feeds my soul is focusing on my values and how I want to be, how I want to act, so that I can bring about the things I want in my life. Not so much values for things that I value, but how I can be. And there are times when I do a reasonably good job of that, and there are a lot of times when I do a pretty poor job of it, and then I try to come back to it and do it again and again and again, which actually supports me in that dislike of uncertainty and imperfection. I'm pretty imperfect, but coming back to my values really feeds me and helps me keep going. Thank you.
Please stand as you are able to sing our next hymn, 1007 in the Teal hymnal. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Hello, I'm Lori Holmes. Joy can be loud and obvious to all. The birth of a child, a wedding. It can be quiet and subtle, a glimmer of hope on a dark day, feeling better after being sick, or a smile from a stranger at the grocery store. Finding joy may entail some of the other practices already spoken of. Contemplation, Sabbath, feeding your soul. What works for me may not be the same as what calls to you. Choosing to see a challenge as a cup half full instead of a cup half empty can bring a spark of joy in a disappointing situation. My journey in finding joy began when I was 10 years old, when my mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. As her condition deteriorated, taking away her mobility, I found joy in being with her and while she talked me through recipes to prepare dinner for our family. This was a shared time together. I could have viewed it as a burden. Later, when she required care that my father couldn't provide, she lived out her time in a care facility. Instead of bemoaning this, she recognized the loving interactions my father was able to give her when his 24/7 burden was lifted. We choose to see the positive in this. When asked what in my life gave me the most joy, other than my husband, kids, and grandchildren, I reflected back to my 25 years working with individuals with developmental disabilities. I was given the opportunity to teach them about choice. Most of them had lived their lives being given meals and snacks pre-supplied by others. Imagine the joy I experienced while at a coffee shop or at the West Side Market when one individual chose hot chocolate, another a cookie, and a third ice cream. How would I ever guess that Lindsay would choose head cheese at the market? For him, it was a connection to his past. A friend of mine is supporting her college roommate who is living out her final days with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. She made a journal for her to write in daily. She and her husband are able to find a glimmer of joy each day and include it in this journal. These glimmers are there for them and for all of us. A flower peeking through the snow, a child splashing in a rain puddle, a person holding a door for another. We have many opportunities to find joy in our lives, and even sometimes with a word or simple presence to provide it for others. When life closes in and we feel a struggle to get through another day, for a moment we could take the advice of Brené Brown and practice gratitude. Her studies indicate that those who mindfully practice gratitude felt more joy. I like her use of the word practice, as for many of us, when life is hard, our first reaction may not be to find joy or gratitude. This emotion can be a choice we make. It may take some time to come to this. Maybe it will take practice to get to this point. Choosing joy can become an act of faith, both in ourselves and in our community. Knowing that we can turn to others at our time of need or uncertainty can be a calming and positive for us. Others can help you unburden yourself and help you find joy, as well as allowing others to feel joy in just being there with you. The lay pastoral care team is here for you, for each and every one of you, as others are here for you in this community. The tending covenant team can assist you if or when you find it difficult to communicate clearly with another congregant.
Wow. And these folks up here have shared with you a wide and amazing range of their personal experiences with choosing joy, contemplation and contemplative meditation, practicing Sabbath, and things that feed their souls. It's a lot to reflect on, but let it simmer as you consider intentional practices that you may find center you through the busy, hectic, brain chatter-driven day that may bring you peace and experience wholeness. Now we're going to be heading down to Fellowship Hall for our second Sunday lunch. Great opportunity to approach some of these folks here and let them share more about their experiences that they've talked about, and then you can share yours, and it's a way to connect. Keep it going. From Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese monk and Zen master. Half smile when you wake up in the morning. Hang a sign with the word smile on the wall so that you see it when you first open your eyes and arise. It may be the beginning of a simple but powerful practice of mindful gratitude for and connection to all that is around you. Let's repeat these words. May I be healthy and safe and free from harm. May I be healthy and safe and free from harm. May I be free of suffering. May I be free of suffering. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at peace. Go in peace.
That pen just does not want to stay on the podium. Before we do our chalice extinguishing, we have a few announcements. Tomorrow, Monday, the UUCC pretrial support team is having a potluck supper, and we love a potluck. This is for the past, present, and future volunteers and anyone else who's interested in learning more about what our pretrial support team is doing. You'll have an opportunity to share experiences and ask questions as we build beloved community. We look forward to seeing you in Fellowship Hall tomorrow at 5 p.m. for that potluck. The Harvest Auction team invites you to volunteer to help on the day and evening of the auction on November 1st. Bring in your donated items on a Sunday over the next few weeks and bring them to Fellowship Hall after the service. And to pre-register for the auction using the Eventbrite link that you can find in many places. The weekly e-blast, the Facebook page, and today, if you're staying for lunch, on your table, there'll be a table tent that has barcodes both for volunteering and for registering for the event. We won't turn you away if you come without registering, but it's super helpful for planning food and childcare if we know how many folks will be coming. And you'll get a little bonus, some bonuses like an extra raffle ticket and a preview hard copy of the auction. There's just so you know, we have over 100 items donated for this year's auction. So thanks to all of you. So plan on attending, bring your family, bring your cool friends and neighbors. And then today, as was mentioned, join us in Fellowship Hall for our second Sunday potluck with our main dish provided by Harry's Kitchen and sides and desserts provided by the rest of us. If you're visiting us today, there will be plenty. Be our guests. And please help clean up as you're able. Many hands make light work. And now, if you would join me in our chalice extinguishing words, Mike is on the ready to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.